ศึกฟุตบอลเนเธอร์แลนด์ยิงสดดูฟรีไม่ต้องเสียเพิ่ม3 บาทที่ช่อง Sports One.
On paper, Feyenoord's visit to Almelo looked to be a game they would dominate. They were unbeaten in the last 19 meetings, winning 15, and had won the last 6 matches in a row. So when Anis Haj Musa fired them into an early lead, it seemed business as usual. A 7th league goal for the Algerian and a 10th in all, his best tally in one season. Not great from keeper Fabien de Keyser, who'd conceded 5 times in December's previous meeting as they lost 5-2 in Rotterdam. And there was still more to come from Haj Musa. Santiago Jimenez had been Feyenoord's destroyer on that previous occasion with a hat-trick. Here the threat came from both sides as well as down the middle. Ayase Ueda on the charge for the next chance, one which de Keyser did well to cut out this time. The suspension of defender Gernot Trauner had forced Robin van Persie into a change. Thomas Balen slotted in at the back, while the rest of the side was the same as he'd chosen in their previous 4-0 win over PEC Zwolle. They'd conceded just 1 goal in the last 4 games, while scoring freely. And they had their second goal here 10 minutes before half-time. Igor Paschal finding Haj Musa in a central position this time. He squeezed in his second of the game to give them a comfortable lead. Willem Trey's draw earlier meant that Heracles were now mathematically safe, but any relief or confidence that might have brought was difficult to discern in the first half. They had only 1 real chance, although it was a good one for Luka Kolenovic. A brilliant cross to find him, and a fine stop from keeper Timon Verlenreuter, who discovered during the warm-up the crossbar in one of the goals was 5 centimetres too low. A problem that was fixed before kick-off. On the stroke of half-time, Feyenoord extended their lead further with a goal that the home side were far from happy with. They felt Haj Musa committed a foul on Mats Roorts in the build-up, one not given by referee Alad Lindout. Hwang went on to deliver the crucial shot, accidentally headed in by defender Damon Mirani. Although, as it was going in anyway, the South Korean was credited with the goal. The referee didn't change his mind, and it was a 3rd for the club. Both scorers departed at the break, replaced by Ibrahim Osman and Ramiz Saruki, but the visitors started the second half with the same intensity that they began the first. And they were almost rewarded too, within the first few seconds. Paschal putting the Heracles defenders on the back foot. Anthony Milambo nearly making it 2 in 2 games, following his standout display in last week's win over PEC Zwolle. A great setup and a thumping shot, while many fans were still retaking their seats. Heracles then hit the frame of the goal themselves for good measure on the hour. Rots measuring his effort just perfectly. The defender's loan from neighbours FC Twente has gone well, and he looks a good bet to be playing more in Enschede next season. Van Persie was very happy with another impressive performance, but he was critical of their finishing, suggesting they could have scored 10. These were the kind of chances he was talking about, and David Hansko set up Ueda for one which looked a certain goal. That meant when Heracles pulled one back inside the last 20 minutes, they did have a glimmer of hope. The first real mix-up in the visiting defence saw Kolenovic eventually slam one in. A 9th goal for him, but a first in 3 months and only a 3rd of the year. It gave his coach, Owen van der Looy, something to smile about on what was his penultimate home game in charge. A clever setup by Daniel van Kaam too, after James Schepperman's knockback. Feyenoord did at least produce an appropriate response just 5 minutes later, switching quickly from defence to attack and scoring a 4th through Hidero Reed, the fullback's first in the Eredivisie. Osman set it up, but it was the nick of Brian de Keersmaker on the way through that was the important touch, taking it past the busy De Keyser. The late dismissal of Schepperman for catching Zaruki inside the final 5 minutes was an unfortunate coda to the Heracles display. Initially given as a yellow, it was upgraded after a VAR review and led to a few minor scuffles. Lintard came over to have a look himself. And Schepperman, who'd apologised already, must have suspected what the outcome would be. A 7th straight win for Feyenoord, giving Van Persie the best start of any coach at the club since Ernst Happel in 1969. They're 3 points ahead of Utrecht with a much better goal difference.
สามารถรับชมรีรันศึกฟุตบอลเนเธอร์แลนด์ได้แล้ววันนี้ผ่านทางแอปพลิเคชัน 3BB GIGATV และช่อง Sports 1